few months ago, we completed a solar panel install here at the farm. It's powering everything from the workshops through all the farm operations. And in this video, I'm going to take you through exactly what we've installed, why we chose to do this, and how it's working out for us a couple of months down the line. I'm going to start with the problem we were suffering with at the farm. There's two different supplies of electric in the UK. You get your domestic supply, which is probably what most people are familiar with, what your house runs off. And there's a price cap that happens on that, which means you sort of can't exceed that price cap in your bill for what you pay per unit of electricity. So that is the ceiling. Commercial electricity does not have a price cap. Then there is no ceiling to the price. It's literally what the energy supplier will sell you the energy for. That's what price you pay. Now, over the past 5 years, there's been quite a few global events happening, such as COVID, Brexit, we had the Russian war, Russia-Ukraine war, and more recently the Strait of Hormuz. And the transport of such and the availability creates massive fluctuations in the price. I'm not going to get into all that in terms of how that affects the pricing, but basically it means if you happen to renew or your contract runs out when something like that is kicking off, which is what happened to us, then you end up with an incredibly high rate price for your electricity on your commercial premises, even more so than you may be seeing at home with your domestic supply prices. And yeah, pretty much everything I do in here runs off electricity. It was getting quite expensive to run the workshop with the electric tariff that we were on. So we've been really looking how we can sort of isolate ourselves from that and do something that generates us some money and stabilises our future. So then we entered the minefield of solar energy and finding a supplier that was able to do this, that was properly MCS credited, and was actually trustworthy and reliable, which is harder than you think with an industry that is just exploding with new startups. We then had a chance meeting with Kieran at KMM Energy Solutions. We met him at Lammer Show when we were walking around. It's a big agricultural show, and we had a great time chatting to him. Came out to the farm, had a look round, put some proposals together, said all the right things, and got the wheels in motion for getting our system up and running. So I'll just take you out to the farm now and show you around what we've had installed and what we've done, so you can get a feel for the sort of system that's powering this workshop and all the farm. Just before I show you around, I'll just introduce you to today's video sponsor.
This is the Navimow from Segway, their robotic lawnmower that they've just launched fresh to the market. If you're anything like me, being self-employed or running your own business, there isn't an awful lot of time to do mundane tasks like mowing the lawn. And that's why this little gadget right here is one of the best things I've come across recently for freeing up some time in my life. One of the main benefits of this mower is how simple it is to use. You can literally drop this on your lawn and set it to go, and it will map itself, its own perimeters, and autonomously mow your lawn and keep on top of that grass without you having to lift a finger. It uses both a camera system and centimetre accurate RTK GPS signals to locate and map the lawn so it can mow perfectly within them boundaries. The combination of these two systems allows it to mow close up to walls. Even if it loses the GPS signal, it still has the other guidance systems to enable it to operate efficiently. The Segway Navimow actually comes with its own base station in the box, so if you do not have signal in your area currently, when you install the mower, you can set your own base station up and have a really accurate signal no matter where you are in the world. Initially I was a bit worried about where I could put this, but now I'm slightly more familiar with the mower. I'm going to move this from actually in the garden. I'm going to put it round near the back of our utility area where the cars are parked on some hard standing. But this base station doesn't actually need to be located on the grass of the lawn. You can tell it a route to follow to travel to the areas of the lawn that you need to mow, and the mower will take itself from its charge station and go to that lawn and mow it autonomously. The garage for the mower does need to be powered at all times from mains electricity, so bear that in mind when you're choosing where to place it. And because this video is all about solar panels and power, I think it's absolutely fantastic. We can now mow our lawn without any effort, and we can use green energy to do it. We've got the solar panels in the background charging up the batteries of the mower, which is mowing the lawn. In the app, you can tell the mower which direction you want to follow. So you can set that to multiple directions so it crosses as it mows throughout the week. And at the minute, it's doing a nice northeasterly up and down direction across this narrow stretch of lawn. And it's a good opportunity to show you the zero turn function of the mower. So on the rear of the mower, there's a turntable, and on the front, you've got the two main wheels for driving. The reason this mower stands out so well against the competition is its zero turn function. There's no scratching of the ground of the wheels when it turns on the spot, and it can turn very accurately within the dimensions of the machine itself without any damage to the grass. This mower's been going up and down this little stretch because of the direction I've set the lawn to mow in, and it's made absolutely no damage to the lawn itself whatsoever. You could not tell anything has driven over here, which really stands out against other robotic mowers. The all-wheel drive element is also very clever. The predominant drive is from the two large wheels on the front, and it only engages the rear turntable wheel when it absolutely needs to. And that saves up to 30% of the power required to run this thing along the lawn. The Vision Fence AI camera can detect obstacles and pets autonomously, so if you did happen to fall asleep on the lawn, it's not going to give you a sharp awakening. Also, we've only had the mower about 3 weeks. I don't think I've ever seen this lawn look quite this good. That regular sort of very, very sharp bladed topping of the grass. It's really making a nice job of the lawn surface. So that's the Navimow i2. There's a link down in the description if you're interested in one of these. It's an absolute no-brainer to go with the robotic mower.
Thank you to Navimow for sponsoring the channel. That is a brilliant bit of kit. Anyway, this is the building just outside the workshop that we decided to install the solar on. It is actually a slightly southwest facing roof with a 15-degree roof pitch. It's not ideal in that the pitch is quite shallow, but it's pretty much ideal in the direction of the angle of the roof for collecting the most amount of sun throughout the day. What I will say is you don't need a south facing roof. You can install solar on pretty much any pitch of roof. You just got to get the system perfectly right to get the most out of it. And that's a point that really needs making, is that you definitely need the system to be designed right. The person you choose to do your install is really important to making this pay and making this viable. So as you can see here, we've got a really smart looking install of perlite, I think 455 watt all black panels on this roof. There's 55 panels on there. There's a nice perimeter gap around the edge for sort of getting around them and servicing. They're all installed with the proper MCS certified fixings for that type of roof, and aluminium rails and bird netting around the outside. It didn't take any time at all to get this installed. I think it was 2 days labour total to get absolutely everything up and running. 2 guys for 1 day to get all the panels on the roof. So we're really happy with how sort of little interference there was having these panels installed. The cable runs are nice and neat. They just come off the roof, return into the top of the shed, and then they put a really neat cable tray down the inside of the shed so you can't see anything from the outside. And then to save ourselves a little bit of money, we actually dug the trenching in beforehand to have all the cables run under the yard into like a central utility container. This is going to be our sort of future farm development box. So all the utilities for our site are going to go into this container, and then anything that's developed from here on, new buildings, whatever it is, all the power supplies, data and water, etc., will all come from this container and go to that building. So it's a central hub for everything that's going to be developed in the future. So we've put some really good ducting and trenching in and made a point of getting that as good as we could to future-proof ourselves. So we actually got all that prepped and installed before they arrived, and then they just pulled the cable runs through that they needed through the ducting and the strings that we had left in the ductings. While one part of the team were on the roof installing the panels, the other guys were inside that container getting the inverter mounted on the wall, all the ducting and stuff neatly fitted for that, and installing the batteries. The inverter and batteries that we've gone for are the Hanchu ESS system. Very well priced, but very well regarded for that price point. And actually we got such a good deal on this, it meant we could have more batteries than we initially had the budget for. So we're really happy with how that turned out. And I think it's a really smart looking inverter and battery setup. So this particular inverter is quite a beast. It's the 3-phase range. It's classed as a 25 kilowatt inverter. I think it'll actually take like a 20% over in terms of the amount of solar that you can push into it. But it means we can use 25 kilowatts of power on the farm through this inverter without having to draw anything off the grid, which is pretty much the maximum we will ever use at any one time when we're powering all our machinery. And the key thing with this system is you can actually take all that power out the batteries as well through the inverter, pump it into our property for us to use without having to use any grid power. So that was really important for us, and it means that actually we can install a gateway, which we've commissioned them to do as well. So if we lose grid power, there's something like a 2 or 3 millisecond switchover, and this system will actually run itself without grid power, and we will not notice. We'll still be operating the workshops when we have a power cut. We're late June. I think it's generating from sort of like 4:30 in the morning all the way to 10 o'clock at night. So we're getting huge amounts of daylight generation throughout the day. But we've literally had this on a self-consume mode, very basically, and just had it running for a couple of months to see how it performs before they fully sign it off. Since it's went in at the end of March, I think we've used 10 kilowatts of grid power. In terms of the figures of our power bill and why this was attractive to us, we were paying over £600 a month to our electric supplier just for the electric we used, pretty much all year round. Our use is pretty even across the year. This system as it stands, we've taken out on a finance package. We've not put any money into this, so it's just a zero capital investment. We have swapped our power bill for a finance package on this solar system. From the end of March now, probably till late October, I'd have thought, it's going to completely eliminate our electric bill. So we will not have that £600 bill for 8 months of the year. And during that 8 months, we've got a feed-in tariff to the grid. And at the minute, it's earning around £350 to £400 per month of feed-in tariff. So when you take in the fact that our electric bill is actually slightly less now, the finance bill is slightly less than we were paying in electric for 8 months of the year, and the remaining 4 will be paid for by the tariff that we've built, like the credit we're building up in feed-in tariff. We've slightly reduced our energy bill, and we've only got that finance package to pay for a set term. So once that ends and this system is then owned by us, we'll be massively or drastically better off than we would have been at that point in the future, with the subsequent inflation rises and cost of electricity going up. Eye-opener for me that you can actually do this. You put zero money in, you've got a system that costs you exactly the same as you're paying, but in however many years time, whether you do 5 or 7 years on your finance, you can do whatever you want. You can have a system that you then own instead of paying the electric company, which is absolutely eye-openingly brilliant. I love it to bits. I think that is fascinating. Another thing that Kieran was sort of mentioned but didn't really push too hard is actually how much the inflation price of electric has risen over the past 20 years. And this is government data. If you go on the government website and have a look at historical data of pence per kilowatt of electricity and look back, I think it goes back something like 50 years when you go and have a look at it. And it's something like a 7% per annum rise in electric cost per kilowatt at domestic rates each year. If we fast forward 10 years and look at the price unit cost of electric from what it is now, with a 7% increase year on year, it's a frightening amount of, or frightening price that we will be paying at that point in time. And then the biggest benefit we found, aside from financial, is that it's actually really rewarding, like to produce your own power. I've got an electric car now, so to drive around on power we've generated incredibly cheaply has made a massive difference to my personal costs of running the vehicle. It's actually meant I could have a nicer car than I would have done if I'd have been running just a diesel car. And again, like the lawnmower that's working for you, it's fascinating to actually sit at the app and look at sort of, have a good guess at what the weather's, have a look at the weather outside, look at the app and see if you can sort of think, oh, probably about 15 kilowatts now. It's really surprising actually how much it's generating at various different times. I can't really stand here and tell you that solar is exciting because it seems really boring, but when you start digging into this and get invested into it with your own project and your own property, it is actually a really exciting thing to be involved with. So that's pretty much our system in a brief overview. If you want to know any more about our system or to get in touch with Kieran, I've got a link down below for them, an affiliated link, so I will earn a small commission if I refer anyone. It's something we've set up between us, which is quite exciting as well. But genuinely, we bumped into Kieran out the blue Really nice guy. Couldn't find anyone with any more enthusiasm for solar power and the work he does. He's so enthusiastic, and they seem to have really just motored on with this and got the job done. So can't recommend him enough. So a link for him will be down below in the description, and also for the Navimow as well. If you're interested in the robotic mower, it's a great campaign and a really great price at this very moment in time when we release this video. So thanks for watching. We'll return to some woodworking in the next video. A great video on staircases coming up, where I'm doing a lovely stair runner, but I'm cladding all the existing staircase with some English oak with a really unique method where I've used the CNC to do something quite special. So keep an eye out for that one on the channel. It's a really good video.